Good morning. Today I will discuss the topic about fishery discard as a source of food for reared or wild fish. Fisheries products found in the landing places or market usually present a fraction of what has been originally taken out from the sea by fishermen. A more or less variable amount of the gross or overall or initial catch in fact is returned either dead or alive to the sea for multiple reasons. Fisheries product ay yung matatagpuan sa mga markets, yung mga fishermen na binabalik nila yung isda sa dagat, alinman sa patay o buhay na isda. Ang discard problem ay nagtataas ng higit at higit na lalo na sa mga huling dekada dahil sa mga itinatapon na specimen sa dagat, like yung mga wild fish. This phenomenon, generally known as the discard problem, has raised more and more global concern, especially in the last decade, since introducing more selectively gears, acquiring more reliable catch data also about the survival rate of the discarded specimen are considered basic requirements in the current management plans for recovering and rebuilding fish stock. To this concern, the current common fisheries policy aims to reduce the discard rate in the Europe waters through the introduction of a landing obligation, better discard ban, according to which all the specimen of the target stock count must be landed. This chapter focuses on the characterization of the catch returned to the sea, potential available to be landed after the introduction of landing obligation, and the possible use as potential food source. In aquaculture, the direct use for human consumption is in fact prohibited. Nilalayo ng current common fisheries na bawasan ang rate ng pagkatapon, pagbabawal ayon sa kung saan ang lahat ng specimen ng target na stock na nahuli ay dapat na mapunta sa kabanatang ito. Sa paglalarawan na dapat ibalik sa dagat, ang posibleng paggamit bilang potensyal na papagkukunan ng pagkain sa aquaculture. This report concerned the effect that the use of wild fish as feed for fish and crustaceans have on the poor and the unnourished worldwide. However, little information is available about the social and economic impacts of the use of fish as feed. Therefore, the analysis focuses on the direct effects on employment, income for the poor, and the supply of fish as food for the food insecure. No attempt has been made to assess the long-term effects of changes in income on consumption of fish. Epekto ng paggamit ng wild fish is bilang pagkain nila para sa mga isda. Malaking epekto ng paggamit ng isda bilang pagkain. Ito rin ang nakakaapekto sa kita sa trabaho ng mga isda bilang pagkain nila, na tumutulong sa kanilang ikinabubuhay. Most today, shrimp culture and much of funfish culture make use of wild fish as feed in one form or another. Wild fish obtained from feed fisheries, from bycatch, and from artisanal feed fisheries. Most of it supplied by feed fisheries in South America and Northern Europe. While bycatch is a worldwide phenomenon, it is only in East Asia that bycatch provides significant quantities of fish for aquaculture. Artisanal feed fisheries supplying fish to fisheries fish farm occur in Asia and the Pacific region. Karamihan ngayon, ang ginagamit na pagpapakain sa mga wild fish as feed nila is yung finfish in one form or another. Ang mga isda na nakuha mula sa pangingisda ay ginagamit na artificial feeds. Discarding, ito yung pagkatapon ng mga isda. Ang discarding is considered to be an act of volition, requiring a decision by fishers to reject or dump the fish. Discard includes sleep fish caught in a net and subsequently released into the sea without being brought on board the vessels. Discards do not include dead corals or empty shells. The release of fish by recreational fishers has not been considered as a discard for the purposes of this study. Kasama ang isda na nakuha sa lambat ay kailangang isaalang-alang sa layunin ng pag-aaral. Yung discards, hindi na-include ang mga dead corals or empty shells. What are wild fish? Wild fish can be marine, saltwater, or lacustrine, riverine, freshwater, and rely heavily on the carrying capacity of the local aquatic ecosystem. Wild fisheries are sometimes called capture fisheries. Ang wild fish is karaniwang nasa saltwater or nasa ilog sila. They carrying local aquatic ecosystem. Example ng wild fish is yung grouper and then yung scorpion fish. Example of wild fish are grouper. Classification of grouper. Class Actinoburgi. Order Perciformes. Family Serranidae. Subfamily Epinepilidae. Bleaker. Another example is scorpion fish. Classification of scorpion fish. Scientific name Scorpionidae, family Scorpionidae, Arizo 1826, order Scorpioniformes, kingdom Animalia, suborder Scorpionidae. Another example is chub mackerel. Classification of chub mackerel fish. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Actinobergi, order Scombriformes, family Scombridae, genus Scamber, species Japonicus. Atlantic herring. Fish classification of Atlantic herring. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Actinobergi, order Clubiformes, family Clupidae, genus Clupea, scientific name is Clupea harengus. Another example is Atlantic salmon. Fish classification of Atlantic salmon. Distribution, temperate to subpolar latitude of the North Atlantic Ocean. Ecosystem habitat, rivers and coastal seas. Siya yung tinitirahan niya yung rivers and coastal seas. Feeding habitat, active predator siya. Taxonomy, order, Salmoniformes, salmons and relatives. Family, Salmonidae, trouts and salmon. Incidental catch and discard of charismatic and endangered species. The incidental catch of the most of these species is discarded, either because of legal requirement or because of lack of commercial value. Endangered species are those threatened with local or global extinction. Several species or species group are considered charismatic, since certain societies according their existence and additional value for numerous reasons. There are long-standing cultural and religious ties with some species such as dolphins and seabirds. Many features in children's stories are used in advertising, films, and cartoons, which contribute to their enhanced status in society. Yung endangered species, tinatawag din silang charismatic. Ito yung mga tinatapon na endangered species at marami ring iba pang klase na species. These are the major differences in discard policies and practices between regions, between countries within a region, and between fisheries within a country. National policies and objective, market food preferences, fishery economics, and moral orientation all influence discard practices in very broad terms. Countries can be classified into 4 groups. Those that. Ito yung mga difference na policies in discard. Number 1 is promote selective fishing and bycatch and discard reduction or elimination. Mainly developed countries fishing mostly in temperate waters. I-promote natin yung selective fishing, bycatch, and discard reduction or elimination. Number 2 is pursue a strategy or full utilization of all components of the catch. These countries include most of the Southeast Asian nation, China, and Cuba. Number 3 is steer a middle course between advocating bycatch reduction and promoting full utilization of the catch. These include EU countries and many developing nations. By the nature of these fisheries, do not have a significant discard problem. These include countries with either small or no industrial fishery, and by default are full utilization countries. Acceptable level of discard, assuming that discard are unavoidable. The question of an acceptable level of discard has a moral dimension in addition to the more obvious biological and economical criteria. Yung acceptable level of discard, sila yung mga hindi natin naiiwasan na mga isda sa karagatan, yung mga wild, and then yung mga wild fish like grouper.